Okay. Well, yesterday, on the first lesson, we learned what a drum pad was. We learned how to activate the MIDI tracks, and we learned how to load sounds into the drum rack, and we learned how to record. Yesterday, I did just the kick drum. Today, I would do the kick drum, snare, and hi-hat. I'll probably use a little bit of a different drum pattern. So like I said, I'm going to get a kick, snare, hi-hat. So I will go in here and probably just going to use any kick. I want to look for a hip-hop kick since that's what we're kind of, I'll just get this one. That's what we're going to, the drum pattern we're going to be making today is a hip hop. So now we'll get the hi-hat, and I'm just going to listen. I mean, it doesn't really matter for this purpose. I'll just use the same hi-hats from this producer that I got because most of this stuff is going to be probably sound okay together. So put the hi-hat here. And I like to do it where I put the kick, snare or clap, hi-hat. We're just going to do 3. I don't want to put too much on here and overwhelm anybody since this is for people that don't know much about Ableton. So let's get a snare, or I'm just going to get a clap. Let's get a clap and just use this one. Sounds good. And put it in here. So now, like I said before last time, in order to get a measure in this track, you need to hit this button right here, which is overdub. There is also this record button. I never use it. I know some people do. I'm not sure if that's wrong or not, but I always use this, and it's been good to me, so I use it. So now I just do that, and I'm going to make it a little bit longer this time. Yesterday I made the measure 4 bars. Today I'm going to make it 8 because I'm going to make it a little bit more variable and not everything on the one beat. Gonna put stuff on the offbeats as well. So here we are in double time, so I am going to put a BPM about 140. A lot of trap beats are 140, and in trap beats the snare or the kick, I mean not the kick, the clap is on the 3. Sometimes they'll have a snare there, and then if you have an offbeat snare, it usually goes, or if you have if you're going to add a second snare, it usually goes on this section. So this would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you put you can put a clap here, and then if you want, I usually put them here. It doesn't always sound right when I put them here unless I have 2. Some songs do, but it just depends on the vibe you're going for. But today we're not going to put any other extra. We're just going to put that, a basic, very basic pattern, trap pattern, hip hop pattern. This one is like, and then usually on this I'll add a kick here, and then here what I usually do is I'll either add a kick there, a clap or a snare there, and then a kick here. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do this, and it's just a little bit more variation. These are very basic, but in trap beat, trap music, any really hip hop music, and to be honest, most music, you usually have a change up at the end here. Sometimes it's more like a fill. I mean, I guess this can be considered a fill, but it's not really like a normal fill that I would normally constitute as a fill. But this changes it up. It just makes this section a tiny bit different than that section. And I want to make it simple because simple is always better. Now, what I'm doing here won't always be simple. I have a hard time playing just this. And if I put hi-hats in there, I also have a hard time doing it. But Max does not. I do, but Max does not. So that's why maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just keep it to this for this lesson. Just keep it to this, and then we'll add the hi-hats after. Just because I can't do that. I can't do this. And I think what I'm probably going to come up here and do is I'll have Max come and play this in, since Max is the expert. And if anyone's curious, we started making beats when he was like 12, and he started playing instruments at 10. All right, put these on. Can you say hi to your fans?
Hi, fans.
Hi, fans. Okay. All right. All right, let me pull this out for you, Max. And there we go. So I'm going to just delete that hi-hat and add it. We'll add it later. So we have everything in here for Max to see. Oh, I accidentally deleted the kick. So one good thing about Ableton, if you hit Command Z, it goes back to your last action. So I'm going to delete, because I just want the kick and the clap in this one. So now we'll have Max play it. And remember, I would tell you, you always want to highlight these and bring the velocity down, so when you get rid of them, it's easier to separate them. All right, you ready, Max? And if you notice, there was no need for language involved in that whole setup. So that's really why I like using Ableton. And I don't know if the other DAWs have that capability to highlight and deactivate the notes like Ableton does. Maybe they do. I'm guessing they probably do. And so that's why I use Ableton. But we also want to quantize. This is trap. You don't need to quantize 100%. And I usually don't, but I think right around there. And I usually like to quantize the snares 100%, or at least in the high 90s, because I want them hitting really cleanly. And let's just see what it sounds like. It sounded good before anyways, but all right. So now we got that in there. And one thing about when you have double kicks like this, you want to bring down the velocity just a tad bit like that, because you want it kind of going up and emphasizing that second kick. And if they're the same, they don't emphasize very much. So